Hello, everybody. What can I say? I am sorry that we are not actually having a tutorial, and it pushed me in really fast. I have no idea why. Hi, Sonia. I can tell you that there's a huge delay. I have allowed the delay between what I'm broadcasting and the time it reaches you, just because I do that usually because I don't want people with a lower internet speed not be able to watch it properly and have to deal with buffering. So if you ask me a question, just be aware of the fact that it might take a few seconds before I see it, and it might take another few seconds before you get your answer. So hi Judy, hi Sweet Pea, hi Cindy, hi Nicole, hi Nunia, hi Janice, hi Deja Magic. And so first of all, I apologize that it's not a tutorial, because I'm finally starting to see results with me rearranging the house. Hi, David. And after all these months in which I wasn't able to do much, and I don't know about you, but when stuff is, and I'm not talking about, I do have a little bit of an OCD, but I'm not talking about spotless, clean, and all arranged, because on one hand, I hate when a craft room is arranged all with just those garage type or auto mechanic type little drawer thingies. I don't know, to me it kind of makes me unable to come up with artistic thoughts. If you want, I'm more the style. I don't know if you have watched Turtle Soup Beads presentation of her creation space. I'm more into that. Okay. So let me see. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Christy. Hi, Anna. But on the other hand, if everything is one on top of the other, one on top of the other, again, I cannot create because it's too much chaos around me, if that makes any sense. And because I had, since the end of March, I just kept getting stuff that I had ordered in the idea to do some tutorials, and I wasn't able to do said tutorials, and they just gathered because I couldn't see to clean, I couldn't see to organize. I was telling a friend, yeah, because she was like, what, you didn't clean yeah, I did clean the house. Of course, I mopped the floor in the kitchen twice a week. Because with 3 pets, 2 cats, and a dog, you kind of have to do that. But what's the use of mopping if you don't freaking see that floor? So when I was finally able to see, I was like, oh my God. So now I'm kind of deep scrubbing everything. Hi, Maria. Hi, Cindy. So as I'm working on tutorials for sponsors and for YouTube, it was a little bit difficult for me to, free this space to work on stuff and then get back my stuff, Hi, Susan. Yeah, you understand. So yeah, I thought, why not address this issue? Because I'm getting so many times questions about, I've been claying for a while and I have a lot of pieces. How can I sell them? Or I've had stuff in my store online and I've been going to venues and I'm not selling. What should I do to sell more? What should I make? Is it okay if I price this like this? So let's talk a little bit about all this. Hi, Marilyn. So number one, let's get the thing with where can I sell my stuff. Hi, Silver Dominguez. That's a pretty name. First of all, if you go local, if you are able enough to go to local venues, or not necessarily local, because I used to go to venues. I used to sell to a local, there was a local metaphysical fair, and then I went a few times to the a Renaissance fair and a few other things. Hi, Nicole. Yeah, and it doesn't. Hi, Ermi. Hi, Victoria. Good morning. Yeah, so if you are able enough, try to participate to as many venues as you can. Now, here's a very important thing, because before you start putting your money into paying for participating to a venue. Hi, Sharon. I have a good friend in Alaska. She's in the Kenai Peninsula. Number one, they will have the price per table. Okay, figure out how much you should sell in order to recoup that price. Then there would be the cost that you have to get to that fair, and then that would be your expenses, and in order to recoup those expenses, you have to have pretty good information about the type of visitors that fair has, and how many for the duration of the fair. Because when you participate to a fair, you get two type of customers. You get the customers that will buy right away something, or the customers who just want to go around and see the whole fair. They might buy a thing or two, and always have business cards. But hi, Victoria. I am good, I guess, and it's rainy. So if we get interrupted, I will come right back on the phone, because there's a small size a thunderstorm passing through, so but they keep popping up, so I don't know. That's why I didn't put anything yet until very recently about the live, because I didn't know how I was going to go with it, because YouTube requires you to put the settings of how you're going to go live when you schedule the live, and it's like I couldn't know, because if we lose power, I lose the internet gateway, so I can only go with the phone. Hi, Lydia. So, getting back to the selling to venues. As I said, you have two type of customers. There will be the customers that will buy something right then. And then there would be customers that you gain on pretty much on the long run. I had a ton of people who they might not have buy something that I had displayed for sale at that specific fair, but most of the time they would actually come to pick up a commission that they have given me, or to give me a commission. Hi, Carol. Hi, Catherine. So try to figure out if the expenses for that specific type of fair, if you're going to be able to recoup, and if you're going, of course, until you go for the first time to that fair, you won't be able to know exactly what's going on. Also, very careful, look in the local, because right now you have, for most cities, you have the local events and stuff. Make sure that that fair doesn't clash with some local event that might have more visitor potential than the specific fair. Also look, usually these fairs are over the weekend. Most of them are for 2 days. Sometimes they are only for Sunday. Make sure that the fair stays open Sunday until at least 3 or 4. Don't count on selling much after that, because usually people kind of go home after that. And the highest number of visitors you'll have Sunday at around 1-ish, because people get out of church, they go to lunch, and then they go, let's go visit. The other thing, of course, is if you have any type of store in your area that might want to get your pieces in consignment. For example, I have there's a local store, local metaphysical store here, and what do you mean? How do I write off? You mean accounting wise? It's advertising. It goes in the advertising expenses. So as I was saying, there's a local store where, and she's a very old friend of mine. We've been friends almost since I moved to Oklahoma City. So it's been, I don't know, 17, 18 years. But it's the only place where I sell goddess related jewelry, and it's in consignment. So if you find any local place that you could put your stuff in consignment, it's wonderful. Hi Jennifer. Just that be aware that usually consignment might be most of it. You'd get like 60% of the price, because of course people have to make their expenses, because your pieces will occupy a space, right? Yes, Lydia, you get them as advertising expenses. Hi Rusty. So the next, and of course you can go by word of mouth. I actually had a lot before I got breast cancer and I couldn't work anymore. Even if I was working, and I also had stuff on the side making websites and other things, because it was the time before you had what you see. It was you get anybody can make a website ready online. I was still doing some jewelry, and I had, through word of mouth, I had quite a bit of customers, especially very well-off ladies who would just send me the photos. This is the dress I got, and I have to go to this social event. Make me something for it. Only that on those I could never post photos of, because, they didn't want anybody else to have something like that. So your other thing would be the online. And here we get into a little bit of a conundrum, especially for the ones of you who are not very technologically advanced. Give me just a minute, because Whisper wants to go outside, and after the last happening when he wanted to go outside when I was having a live and I told him to wait, and then I had to clean a lot, I don't dare to make him wait. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You want to go outside? Come on. Come on. Okay, sorry for that, and I'll... Yeah, probably. I don't know. I would have to look. I don't... let me see. I will have to look. Remind me. Send me a text, Lydia. A message, and I'll look. But yeah, sorry about Whisper, but you have to think that he's like an 80 years old guy. So he cannot hold it very well. Okay, so going back to the online selling. If you are... Here you have to think about two things. It's... And the thing that's the most important is the exposure. I do not recommend anybody to go on Etsy anymore. And why is that? Number one, well, I left Etsy more than 2 years ago, right before I started the YouTube channel, because I did not agree with their new policies after they kicked out the two founders, and they let in all the Chinese wholesalers and all those intrusions in your life and all that. And especially the thing that if you didn't pay advertising fees, you would your stuff would not show up in searches. So unless you already had a market who knew to come to your store, that's kind of useless. So why give Etsy that commission when and then give another commission for the payment, and you practically lose money. If you have a Facebook account right now, one of the easiest things to do, if you have a Facebook account and a PayPal account, you can now sell things on Facebook. Only that you have to have a page. Yes, it's very dishonest. Very dishonest. You can sell through Facebook. You can get a shop. And yeah, I heard that people would buy more if it's free shipping. Well, no. Honestly, no, I didn't find that true. And also it's stupid because you cannot really put the same free shipping if somebody's in the same country with you or if it's international. That's idiotic. But try Facebook. Facebook is fairly easy to set up and fairly easy to set up with a payment with a PayPal, and all you have to do is to take a photo of your stuff and put it there and people can get it. Let me go check because I think Whisper's done. And then he comes in and starts and walks in front of me. Slow. Anyway, so yeah, Facebook is a pretty good thing, and then you can start your. All you have to do is to work on your online presence. But about working on the online presence, I will talk on another occasion, because what I want to focus more. Yeah, I know. What I want to focus more on is the subject of what to make and how do I price it. No, not the marketplace. You have to make a page. Okay? Let me try and show you how that works. Okay, so this is the Kalyana page, right? When you make a page, you have here this Shop Now button. Now, my button will take you directly to my website, because that would be another way, and I will talk about it at the end. But you can get the website instead of taking it out to a website that you have. You can get it to a Facebook store, to show a Facebook store, and then you hold on a second, and then you simply upload the photos of your products with the shipping, or you up it a little bit and put free shipping, but it's completely up to you. On eBay, I don't know, there was a time when I was selling on eBay a lot, and especially my fairy one of a kind, and mermaids and stuff, one of a kind dolls, because those would be the best. eBay is fairly inundated, and again, if you don't already have a following, it's kind of hard to do it. But on eBay, you want to go. Yeah, no, you cannot do a personal page in a store. You have to make a business page, create a page. But eBay, you want to do. Just a second. On eBay, sorry. On eBay, you go only if you want to have an auction for your piece. I was preferring the auction method for my dolls because, and you run a risk there, honestly, you run a risk because, to be very honest, if you put you make a beautiful one-of-a-kind art doll and everything, those, the good ones, are very expensive. But if you put it in your store, hi Teresa, if you put it in your store and you put there $1,000, nobody's gonna buy it, you know. But if you put it with a starting price of 100, because they are one-of-a-kind fairy dolls and mermaids and collectioners, and they would check every day who posted new stuff, and they would start, if they like it and if your piece is good, they are going to start to fight for it. Just don't start dreaming about making thousands all of a sudden on eBay, because right now, I mean, it was much easier 15 years ago. There weren't many artists, but right now you can get quite amazing one-of-a-kind dolls. So if you want to compete with one of the big names like Nicole West, yeah, Nicole can get, she sold some of her dolls for over 3,000. But you know, let me try and find. But her dolls are out of this world, you know. Hold on. I'll show you a few of her photos. And if you think that you can compete with that, then, you know, it's up to you. But I personally cannot compete with her. She's absolutely, I mean, she's beyond fabulous. And she has as the page, one of my most favorite pieces of hers is the Ice Mermaid. And, but yeah, she had dolls that sold for thousands. But can you compete with that? Very hard to believe. She's been making dolls for ages. No, I honestly recommend, especially if you don't have a lot of money, to go Facebook. Because if you go Facebook, you only pay pretty much the PayPal. And Lydia, just check eBay's thing, because I don't know them by heart. I'm no eBay. Just go on eBay and check, because they put all the prices there. Hi, Fran. So this is what I recommend you to do. You'll still have to work on the exposure. No matter which, let me check something real. There's another pretty good solution that is called indiemade.com, and not only you can try it free, but the pricing is quite good. with the basic, you have already the website is installed. You have no setup fee. You have the only problem would be that with the basic, that's $4.95 a month, you can only sell, let me see, 10 products. I mean, you can only display 10 products. The higher you go, the more you have to pay. But it's a ready-made website. So if you want to have a little bit more presentation, you know, oh, sorry, I got the wrong one. If you want to have a little bit more presentation and write something about yourself and about where you started and everything, then yeah, you kind of need to do a website. A DeviantArt, I don't know. When it first started, I was doing a lot of stuff there. But DeviantArt over the years has been over and over and over has been plagued with malware. No, there's no cost, at least not when, because this is how I started it before I put up the website. Initially, I put only products. Just be aware that with Facebook, you cannot sell downloads. You cannot sell downloadable stuff. So if you do a tutorial, that's not gonna work with Facebook. And generally speaking, there would be a few ready-made websites. I forgot if IndieMade allows you. Give me just a minute. Yeah, you cannot sell a downloadable with the basic plan, only with the one that's with the $12 a month and up plan. So you too, and you can come after this is over, you can come watch it. So you can sell from your blog. Again, if you don't do a lot at a time, you can sell from your blog. There are also some hosting companies that offer you a free WordPress that's pretty much kind of like a blog. But if you go on the blog, give me just a second. You can, if you just search Google, for example, how to sell on Blogger, you get, you can do a Shopify, but that's going to cost you money too. But if you want to sell it directly, remember I had a video at one point where I showed how you can do the monthly membership on your blog just using the PayPal functions. And you can do the same thing. You can create a button for each of the products that you sell and then just embed the code in the blog. But again, that's going to be a little bit more complicated, and it requires you to know to be a little bit more technically advanced. So your best bet, if you are not very technologically knowledgeable, your best bets are Facebook for simple products, or something like IndieMade, and there's a few other ones. Something like IndieMade if you want to do tutorials too, where you only have to upload photos or the file that you made. Now let's go to the what do I make. And here there's a big thing. Number one, and I did write a blog post at one point about this, and I'm going to link it here in the chat. There we go. The thing is that it doesn't matter if you sell online, if you sell at venues, even if it does matter a little bit if you sell at venues. First of all, establish what is your market segment. And do you want to go mass producing, or you want to go separate? Okay, Ermi, you have a great day too. And if you go mass produced, again, the important part is what is your market segment? Do you want to sell more to children and teens? Do you want to sell more to young people? Do you want to sell more to mature people? Do you want to sell more to elderly people? Because each of these market segments will want something else. Do you want to make, as I said, more of a commercial type thing, where you make a whole bunch of stuff that you can make fast? And remember, I did quite a few tutorials for people who do go to venues. Hi, Gayleen. Awesome. So you can sell a whole bunch of stuff cheap, so you'll make probably just a few dollars per piece, but you'll sell a lot. Or you can go a little bit higher and make more expensive things. But to be very honest, to get a little bit higher, you need to be already known a little bit, you know. Otherwise, it will be like, oh yes, this is a beautiful piece, this is gorgeous, it's a statement piece, but and you only want 100 for it. But I'd rather pay, and I'm just giving a big name, you know, let's say Julie Picarello 200, and get a smaller piece from her, because when I go out I can say, oh yeah, I'm wearing a Julie Picarello stuff, you know. So very careful about that. Do you want to get yourself a style? That is also quite important. But the most important thing, if you really want to, and I'm not talking about, hi, hello, I'm not talking about, you know, let me make myself known, I'm talking about seriously, if you're in it just for the money. Okay? Number one, decide what you want to make. You want to make jewelry? You want to make decorative objects? You want to make toys? You want to make collectibles? Because for each of these, you're gonna have a specific market segment. If you want to make, let's say, if you want to make stuff for the youth. Hi, Kimba, thank you. Yes, you have to sell lower as you start. That's true. But let me put it this way. If you want to go, okay, I'm going to sell stuff for the teenagers. Number one, you have to be updated. And if you have grandkids, it's excellent. You have to be all the time updated with what are the latest trends. And here you kind of can go with, because remember, there's always some craze with the teenagers. Like it was with what was the name of that spinner thingy that everybody it was all over the place? Fidget spinner, or how was it called? I forgot. But there would be always a game that's in big vogue. There would always be some kind of toy. But the most important thing that you have to remember is them kids don't have money. So you'll be dependent on their parents buying it from you. Unless they are a little bit, but still they'd rather buy something that was issued by the company, and it's, oh my God, I have an action figure that was issued by Marvel instead of buying it from you. Yeah, that's a good thing, Lydia. That's a really good thing. And hopefully, as I'm catching up, I can start with the projects that I had in line, should have been already out by now, telling you exactly how to do. Because I will still, even if I'm talking right now, I'm going to separate these, and show you how to do the Facebook store, how to. But right now, I'm trying to cram as much information as I can, considering it's raining. And it's not long before my back muscles will start going on me. So, yeah, fidget spinners. Yeah, and then when you talk about adults, and what adults, what age range? If you go to the young ladies 20 to 30, think about all the, how I call them, Chineseries that are out there that they can buy for $5. And also, they don't have a lot of money either. So, generally, if you want to go for jewelry and decorative objects that you would be able to sell, go more for an age range of 40 plus. Generally speaking, those are the people who have more money to spend on your stuff. Another thing that I hear a lot, not hear a lot, hear sometimes, but read a lot. Like, oh my God, I just did a whole bunch of stuff because the craze is, and you name it, because it's always some kind of craze in the polymer clay world. It's either some kind of mica powder, some kind of acrylic paint, some kind of wax, some kind of technique. Everybody's trying that. And I keep telling people, that is our craze. The people who buy from you don't give a damn. What you need to go for, there are so many resources online. Number one of the easiest resources, just go for example, if I go for fall winter 2019 colors, just put that in Google. And the first thing that's going to come up will be the Pantone. And here you have the colors that will be in fashion already, New York Fashion Week, and you can see them. So go more for those colors if you want to sell in the next months or so. Then go for the jewelry trends. Again, jewelry trends fall winter 2019. Of course, you are not going to go for the big, huge names, tone them down a little, or inspire yourself from them as shapes and as colors, and you will do quite good. But, hi Debbie. But for example, to give you an example, right now, and I cannot show you the photo on the video. I already stretched it a little bit by going on some websites. But right now, for example, they are very much in fashion, flower earrings. Just plain flower, just not very small, not very big, about, 1 inch diameter flowers with the petals and a little bit pearly. So that's one of the things that's very much in vogue right now. Another thing, you can see another thing, so you don't go for the big ones like from Vogue and from Fashion Week and stuff, because you don't know the people, and honestly, people who have thousands and thousands of dollars to spend on the latest fashion jewelry. They don't come to you. They go to Chanel. They go to David Yurman at worst, or you know, or Constantinos in the worst case, Neiman Marcus, if they don't go to the big names. But tone it down. But another thing that you can see, for example, that for fall winter and the whole of 2019, seashells were and still are in fashion. Big chains were and still are in fashion. Last spring there was a lot of natural looking plants and flowers. They still are. But one of the trends, for example, for this fall and winter, and probably it will be more towards winter, is with pearly colorish stuff with resin and with inclusions. So go for that. I hope to be able to, catch up in time, because I got a whole bunch of resin stuff to show you. And I'm sure that you will love it. But go for that. Another thing, and I'm going to let you in on a secret. There is a add-on. I'm not sure. I don't think you can do that on the phone. But there is an add-on that you can use both on Firefox and Chrome. It is called Keywords Everywhere, and let me show you. And all you have to do is to go install it for Chrome or for Firefox. They are going to ask you for your email to send you an API key. That's a specific account identity, because they do pull out information so they can make their product better, and without this API key you won't be able to access the best features. But let me show you what happens if you have Keywords Everywhere. Let's say that I want to make earrings. Okay, what I'm going to search is earrings. You see, I typed here earrings, right? And I click OK. Look what happened here. Keywords Everywhere brought me the most searched words with associated with earrings. Obviously, I cannot do diamond earrings, I cannot do Pandora earrings, but you can see that most people look for dangle earrings and drop earrings. Let's say I want to go for a bracelet. Again, I search bracelet, and look what are the most is a Pandora bracelet. You can do something in a Pandora bracelet style, just don't copy it. Charm bracelets, and you can see exactly. Oh, and another thing, beads are bead bracelets are very much in style, so keep watching Turtle Soup Beads. Susan, she does what she's doing now. It's very much in style for fall. So let me see, if I go for Polymer clay jewelry, the most is the tutorial. Okay, and you can see, if you want to make tutorials or to show you're getting ready for a class, you can see what is the most sought after. But if I go for resin earrings, let's see, wholesale small trend hoops marbled tortoise. So already you have the two terms that tell you what is your best bet to make to sell fast: marbled resin, tortoise resin. So again, this is called Keywords Everywhere, and it is an add-on both for Firefox and for Chrome. But again, I don't know if I can if you can use it on the phone. I never tried on the phone because it's a little bit too much for me. Yeah. Okay, let me see what I lost or what I missed on the chat. Okay, and remember that I started doing some 4 gemstones with resin. Remember I did the 4 moonstone. I don't know if I still have one here because I think I sold a few. Right now I sell mostly in the local area. Hold on a second. Let me check if I have it here or not. Yeah, I do. If you haven't seen the tutorial on how to make a 4 moonstone, let me show it to you. Hold on, this one needs refocusing and stuff. Okay, so this is the 4 moonstone. You can see the moonstone blue fire in resin. Actually, let me do it like this because probably it looks better. And I'm going to make more. Okay. What purple stone? Oh, yeah. Anna has quite a few good Celebrate creations. She has quite a few good 4 gemstones. But again, you can check with the keywords everywhere what gemstones are more sought after to know what to make. For example, in the last 2 months or so, people might want more leaf type earrings, or they might want more wide bangles or tiled bangles, and this helps you a lot when you go. Now, what do you mean a tutorial making? For the, yeah, there is a tutorial. Hold on a second. Let me search it for you. Yeah, it was when I did the subscribers giveaway. Yep. Here you go. Here's the resin for moonstone. Kimba, there you go. So let's go to the price now, because that's a big issue. And I'm going to tell you without any doubt, considering the work put in them, most polymer clay things are severely underpriced. Just because we live in such a technological, industrialized society, some things take forever to make. They might take you 6 or 7 hours to make, but you won't ever be able to sell it for more than $30. So if you divide that by how much you make an hour, that's yeah. But the other thing is when you price stuff, you have to have certain things into consideration. No matter how much you think that your stuff deserves, okay? Because you're the worst judge of the value of the things you make. You'll always be either underestimating it or overestimating it. Just look around. Number one, again, your first thing is establish for what segment of the market is that piece destined for. Because yes, that mold is really good. And if you look in my Amazon influencer store lately, they've allowed us now to be able to organize stuff in one of the, in the so-called lists. And I was able, with the resin, you'll have to start with its casting resin, then it's UV resin, then all the other stuff that you need to work with resin, the UV lamps, UV flashlights, the whatchamacallit, burner stuff, syringes, and then after that it's a whole bunch of molds and a whole bunch of inclusions. And I do have quite a bit of inclusions and other surprises for resin for you, but I'm not gonna tell more about it because somebody's watching with hawk eyes and she's going to rush to do it first. But so first of all, take into consideration for what segment of the market that piece will be appealing. Because if you made something that would be for people between 18 and 30, women for between 18 and 30, you aren't going to be able to sell it for very much. Or you might, but it's going to be in your store for a year before you sell it. But if it is for women between 30 and 45, you have more chances to sell it. So very careful with the price, considering the market segment of population that you made it for. The other thing, if you go to venues and you sell at fairs and store consignment and stuff, you have to be very aware of the general local power of buying. Because you can sell something in New York for $100, but come here to Oklahoma, ain't gonna be able to sell that for more than 40. Just because the cost of living here in Oklahoma is very low and people are used to not pay a whole bunch of stuff on things. So sorry, I have to get back to my Romanian accent. I got a little bit heated up. So yeah, very careful when you go local. Consider the price that is kind of average for your area. If you go online, the only thing that I can tell you, for example, to make a comparative, when it's always a little bit of work. If you want to make money, it ain't gonna be just, I'm gonna upload stuff on Facebook and I'm gonna sell. No. And that's why I said I'm going to break this whole issue into several tutorials to explain to you exactly what you need to do. But one of the things that will help you price your items, go for example on Etsy and look for similar yes, Marilyn, you're right. Look for similar items. For example, let's say that you made a pair of mokumegane earrings. Hi, Lori. And then you know what I'm talking about. Lawton actually is a little bit higher cost of living than Midwest City, where I am. But, for example, you made some mokumegane earrings. Do a search on Etsy for mokumegane earrings. And then you'll see a boom, boom. There will be a very low cost and a quite high cost. Search for the ones, and try to be objective here. Search for the ones that are in about the same area range of expertise as you. Okay? Don't try to say, I'm as good as, if you're not, because honestly, You can tell yourself that you're awesome, but if your pieces don't look good, they won't be purchased. Yeah, I know. And lighting is very important. Um, the other thing that you do, go and start looking at each and every of the, select several pieces that would be in the same area of expertise, and select the smaller, the lower priced ones, and the higher priced ones, and the medium priced ones. Then look at the amount of sales that store has done, because that's going to tell you everything. If that type of jewelry with that type of expertise and finishing and presentation, for which price sells the best. Of course, you'll have the factor of, how much exposure you got by that time, but it's going to still give you a good idea about how much you should price stuff. Now, there will be a little bit of up and down depending on where, because honestly, if you go on Etsy and hi Sherry, and if you go on Etsy and if you have like 100 artists who make mokumegane earrings, and some sell them for $10 and some sell them for $80, and you look and you see that both the one that sells them for $80 and the one that sells them for $10 have pretty much the same amount of sale. Think about the fact that it means that the one that's selling it for $80 has a lot more exposure than the one who sells it for $10. So that means that she's already known, already renowned. A lot of artists have come forward and became known by their work, not by their YouTube videos, not by their YouTube tutorials, not by writing books. For example, somebody like Anarina. She can sell stuff for $200 and $300 if she wants to, because she's got her style. She came to be known by her work. Okay? And until you are known by your work, you cannot, and until you get a wide following, you cannot sell for high amounts. Thank you, Lydia. So that is very, very important when you price your stuff. Don't go saying, oh, I'm not going to sell this for less than 100 because it took me 3 days to make it. The buyer doesn't give a damn how long it took you to make it. It happened to me that I made stuff that took me a long time. I'm not complaining because I love making it. It took me a long time to make it, but I couldn't sell it for more than, let's say, $60 or $70, while some other stuff that took only 2 hours to make, I could sell easily for 100. Just because here you have to think about something, considering what you make to be successful selling. It's not what you like. It's what people like. If you want to be successful and to sell, it's not about what you like. It's about what potential buyers like. So it's useless for you to like only white or flower canes jewelry. If people like 4 gemstones or other stuff, they are not going to buy flower canes because, let's say, daisies, just because not everybody likes daisies. And again, and don't get, another thing that I keep telling people, don't get stuck on jewelry. For example, I'm going to tell you a few things that in the past I made big money with. And of course, on some of them you have to have a little bit of sculpting talent and stuff, but not everything. For example, remember I made that tutorial on how to make gosh, how you call it? I have a brain lag. The cabinet knob. Okay, how to cover a cabinet knob and a cabinet pull and stuff. Those things, if you want pretty ones, they cost an arm and a leg when you go to, even at Lowe's, not to talk about places like Pier 1 or Hobby Lobby or stuff. So you can make, think about this. You make a cane about this big, this wide. You can make 2 sets of so many knobs and so many pulls with that cane that you can sell for $20 a knob, and it would be still cheaper than what people can get in the store. And the same light switches. You can make a ton of money if you can get, and especially after you make a little bit and you can get yourself, connected with an interior designer or something, because you can make switch plates that will be completely coordinated with the rest of the house. There are people who have money and pay a ton of money to have that. Another thing that I was making, again, but this is not just for everybody, but you can still make something. Another thing with which I made a ton of money was with pet sculptures. I had associated myself with the local pet cemetery and crematorium, and they were providing the wooden box, and I was getting commissions. People would send me the photos of their deceased pet, and I was making a little sculpture to be put on the box with their ashes. Another thing that works, again, but you have to have, and not necessarily, sometimes, even the more crude, the more childish like can be sold, but like wedding cake toppers, especially if you can make them a little bit similar to the couple. So the idea is, don't get stuck with making jewelry, especially because you have to think about something. The market is quite saturated, and because of all the Chineseries, maybe, who knows, now we won't have so much, I'm just joking. But you have, generally speaking, if you want to make a good living, you have to either sell a lot and cheap, or already have a name and be able to make wearable art and charge a ton for it. Yes, paw prints also, and that doesn't even require a lot of time, because you can just do the quick cast and you're fine. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Don't get jewelry, polymer clay jewelry. No, there's a lot of other things that you can do. You can do tiaras for and for example, I did quite a bit the tiara of the bride with a cake topper with flowers around matching her tiara. So you can do hair combs, and being handmade, and if you make them a little bit more special, that's fine. You can do little tags for pets. People spend a lot of money for their pets. People spend a lot of money for their little girls, especially mothers. I mean, think that there's a whole industry of pageantry for baby girls. So yeah, diversify. You can have a market online for something, and a different market at venues. Like I don't think I saw her today. Like Colleen Garland. She's also known as Clay Girl. Colleen sells mostly metaphysical and paganish stuff, and she's already known for the fact she made a specialty of making wands and journals with Celtic, paganish, elvish look. But she's doing great because she has established her market. She has established her market segment of population that's interested in what she makes. She has established her tour of, she doesn't sell only local, she goes on a tour to fairs. So if you can do that, or another lady that I know, she's one of my subscribers, Jennifer, she makes these absolutely fabulous pins with polymer clay, and I think that she started doing resin as well. But she has all these beautiful things, with unicorn stuff, and I mean, they are fabulous. So find your niche, yeah, clay babies, all kinds of things. I was making at one point the little baby fairies, and I started getting commissions to make baby fairies that would look like a baby, like a specific baby. I would get the photo of the baby and I would make a baby fairy out of it. So yeah, it's so vast. What you can do with polymer clay is so vast that you can make knife replicas, like archaeological stuff replicas. It's endless. But it's one of my most beloved shirts, and I actually need to try and get another one because this one is black and it's starting to go. Okay, I'll let you read it. Can you read it? Okay. Yes, as I said, people spend the most on their pets and on their babies and little girls. And that is, let me get, I forgot to bring this back. So those are two really good. Another thing that you can do, and I did that a lot when I was talking about coordinating. Think about this. You can coordinate a full house with switch plates, curtain rod ends, cabinet knobs and pulls, so you can have everything perfectly coordinated in a room. So, as I said, you can do all kinds of things. So be open-minded, find your market segment, find what is the most sought after in that specific time. Like if you go before a fair, about a month before a fair, start researching. Give yourself a couple weeks to work on stuff. Don't hesitate to remodel things. Okay, if you have a whole bunch, let's say a whole bunch of mokumegane pendants that didn't sell, either you go ahead, because remember, everything that you have in stock, as long as it stays in stock, doesn't make you money. Even if you have invested $5 of materials in a pendant and 2 hours making it, and you tried and you cannot sell it and cannot sell it at 30, bring it the heck down to 10, recover your money and invest them in something else. So move your stock, readapt it. As I was saying, if you have let's say some pendants with mokumegane that didn't sell, check what's looked after, change them, put a bezel around and maybe cover the bezel that's already, put some flowers, put some resin on it, change them. A lot of the stuff that we make is changeable. You can transform it. So yeah, if there is any other question that you have for me, because I'm starting to hurt. Let me see if there's anything I didn't answer. I'm sorry, Becky. I'm sorry I didn't see your... Yeah, I know, Julia. Sometimes it happens with stuff that you don't think is going to sell, and it does sell. Everybody wants it. So if you cannot think about it, about a question right now, you can either post it in the comments after this is over, or as usual, just message me on Facebook. Oh, and another thing that I wanted to say, if you're just one of my subscribers on YouTube, you might want to like my page on YouTube, on Facebook too, because I'm going to start uploading some videos on Facebook as well. And please share my Facebook page, because I really would love to be included in the Facebook watch, but I need to reach 10,000 followers. So okay, the clay thing I did hold on, because everybody's asking me about the clay. I answered a lot of times, and I always answer, it depends, and it drives some people crazy, because it depends what you're trying to make, you know. So okay, Lydia, this is your answer. No, rusty depends on the pastels, because some pastels bond with the clay, like the pan pastels, they would bond with the clay pretty good, so you can just use some Renaissance wax. But other pastels, anything from the cheap scalpy glaze to the more expensive, or you can just put resin. So anything, you know that I usually put varnish on only if I used some type of yeah, but it depends for what, Lydia, because it depends. Let me put it this way: if I try to make a 4 gemstone that is translucent, okay, then I would definitely have to choose between Cernit and Pardo, because they both have the most translucent, okay. Now, if that specific gemstones has the texture and the inside composition is in straight lines, then I'm not going to use Cernit, because Cernit is very soft, and when you try to preserve it straight, it's very hard, it's going to deform. So I'm definitely going to use Pardo. If that specific gemstone has rounded lines or patterns in it, then I'm going to use Cernit, because Cernit is soft and will respond much easier. Or if I have to do a moku megane, I'll always choose Cernit over Pardo, because it doesn't matter for what, Lori. It matters on what technique you're gonna use with it. You know, please watch that video I posted there. So yeah, it depends. Of course, if we are talking metallics and pearlescent, obviously I'm going to prefer the Cernit metallics, because they are richer than any other clay. if we are talking about making canes, of course I'm going to prefer Fimo Professional. I don't work with keto, as I said before, because my pets seem to throw up when I bake keto. But keto is perfect, it's the best clay for caning. So, again, depends on the technique, not on what you make with it. That is what is the thing that you have to keep in mind. Oh, yes, and before I forget, because there was somebody told me that there was a Fimo Classic sale at Munro's, but I want to make you very aware of the fact that Fimo Classic, after the reformulation that happened several years ago, is pretty much the equivalent of Sculpey 3 for Fimo. So, anyway, if you want to play with it, it's excellent. If you want to try and get better in Moku Megane, get it because it's just $1. Okay, the sale is for $1 for Fimo Classic. So, what else? Let me see if Trish. And yeah, I do have a big package I need to open, but as I said, I'm getting a bit tired, so I'm not sure if I can do an unboxing. Let me see if Trish has anything for sale. I don't think so. Come on. Get loaded. I have too many ads on my Firefox, and sometimes Trish's website balks at me. Let me go in Chrome, because I know she always has something to sell. And yes, it is possible that Trish will start carrying Cernit as well. So, yay. Okay. No, nothing that I can see for now. But she's got quite a sale price on quite a bit of things, so you might always check her out. Okay, so I still have to finish for you the scarab necklace. I need to do the lapis. I promised to do the lapis lazuli in Fimo, because I did them in Premo and I did them in Pardo. But see, that's an example where I wouldn't use Cernit, because you kind of need to have those chips of lapis with fairly straight lines, which is kind of hard to obtain with Cernit. So I have to do that, and I will have to finish the organic beads necklace, and then a whole bunch of stuff. And yes, as I said, I did I still have a little bit of narration to do for the rose pendant, and I have shown the, let me see if I can put it up. If you remember the rose cane that I made, this one, there's a pendant tutorial I just finished, and I still have to do a little bit of narration on it, and then render it for YouTube and upload it, so you'll see it really soon. Not sure if I'm gonna do it this afternoon, because I usually try to keep the Sunday afternoon my free time, the time when I rest, but I'll definitely put it up tomorrow morning. And I did post some photos both on Instagram and on Facebook on that pendant, and on some other things that I am working on. You'll see if you look on my Instagram and on my Facebook, I did post it's a beautiful white mica shift necklace that's going to have some stuff on it, and all kinds of other things. But as I said, I'm almost caught up with the cleaning and rearranging the house, so I should be able to catch up faster on the tutorials as well. Thank you, Becky. Oh, yeah. And for the ones of you who asked me about the eyes thing, because I still cannot see very good far with the left eye. And my thought was that there was a wrong lens put in. Well, no, apparently all the tests say that everything is okay with my eye, but I cannot see very well. So I had issues. This is the eye where I had scleroplasty done. So that means the sclera, all the white around the eye, was transplanted because the eye was getting deformed. It was very weak. And this is what the surgeon thinks is happening. But she wants my ophthalmologist, and who is the director of the Eye Institute, to see me and to give the okay for putting in a stronger lens. So anyway, nothing will happen before November. Okay, so I'll be able to catch up. Hopefully, if nothing else happens. So look forward for that tutorial tomorrow morning, and then for the next ones to come, and then we'll do a real tutorial next Sunday. Okay, so don't forget, let me check here on something. Yeah, the monthly chat with you will not happen this coming week. It will be on the 7th, because it's always the first Saturday of the month. And this coming Saturday is the 31st. So the chat with me won't happen until the 7th. So if you have any questions that you'll need answered, make sure that you message me before then. So have a wonderful what's left of Sunday, and I look forward to post all those tutorials and to finally get back on track. Have a wonderful time this Sunday.